Hey, it's Kayla. Before I make this video, um, I know it's night, you can see out my window, and it looks like I'm wearing sunglasses, but these are actually for something I have called Irlen syndrome, so the glasses, just help with various things like my depth perception, my focus on things in general, and like if I'm on the computer, which I am now, on the laptop, with, yeah, just the glare of the computer. Okay, so making this video on the cognitive functions because I was talking to somebody and it was implied just different things that I didn't know myself, my own cognitive functions. I didn't understand the cognitive functions in general. I had just memorized them, and I was in ENFP, and um, I was able to memorize the cognitive functions because I had introverted sensing, which ENFPs do have that as their fourth function, but I also, at one point, I actually, it was, I was on, talking to them on a video I had made on another channel, but I was just pissed off because, well, they were acting suspicious, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want to assume anything. Just, I don't really like to assume something about people, especially if it's, you know, a negative thing, or I don't really like to assume anything about people in general, but so this, I was expressing, they were acting like, you know, just pretty suspicious in general, so I was, we were just commenting too on the video, so we weren't face to face, and I had never seen this person. They had watched my videos. They hadn't made any videos. They haven't made any videos on their own. Um, so we were just talking, and then I was pissed off because they were acting like pretty suspicious. And I had sort of thought they were just like something weird was going on about them in the first place. Um, um, I'm sure you can know what I'm talking about. Um, they were telling me I didn't know which type I was, and so I thought they were part of something else, which I still don't really know what their deal is with that, but so they said part of when we were talking, I was just pointing out that something that they said was they were being inconsistent in what they were saying. They had said that um, they had said they were an INT. They had thought they were an INTJ, but they're really an INFJ. Um, but they, things, and then they had said that they were actually an IN. They had thought they were an INTP, and because no wait, what, they didn't say they were an INTJ. They said that they had thought they used extroverted thinking and not extroverted feeling. Um, so that's why they didn't think that they were an INFJ. So, and then they had said something to me about the tests being not really accurate because it had told them that they were an INTP, and I said, I thought you said you used extroverted thinking, and then I was pissed off, so I called them a liar, and they had said that I went all TE on them. Um, and I'm not sure what that has to do with extroverted thinking. I don't know who likes being lied to. And they had said it was a miscommunication, and then, but they were correcting me. So this is another thing. I don't like it when people correct me if you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you know you don't know what you're talking about, you're learning something. Like, I don't like it when you tell me I'm wrong. I don't really, if you know what you're talking about, like, first of all, I don't really think it's polite to give somebody unsolicited advice. But I don't know if that's the right word. I think it is. Okay, so if someone like asks for advice, you should give it. Or if you think that they could benefit from it, and you actually know what you're talking about, you're not just learning something, that's fine. But, so, they said no, it was a miscommunication. That, pissed me off. But I got over it, and I wasn't sure about this person either. I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to make an assumption. And then they continued to tell me I was wrong about my type. We were supposedly having a debate, which by debate meant they were telling me I was wrong about my type, telling me I didn't know myself, and I was saying I know myself. I'm not relating to these things that you're telling me, like, could you stop? And just through like comments or messaging, and they also apparently they didn't know any of this information themselves. Like, if you're watching this, like, I know I told you I didn't want to really talk to you anymore, but I don't know you, and it's not a debate. If you're searching things on the internet, you can find something to fit your argument. If you don't know what you're talking about, and you're just finding information that fits with your point of view, which I told you, I don't want to have a debate on my type. I don't see how that's, really, like, when you have a debate on something, objective, not like the person themselves telling them they don't know themselves, that's pretty rude, which you say you're an extroverted feeler. I don't see how any extroverted feeler would say they're having a debate, and we were talking about myself. They implied that I didn't know the cognitive functions. I told them I didn't sit down and memorize the cognitive functions for each type. I noticed a pattern in them, and I was able to know the cognitive functions for each type. They have a pattern. And so I was talking to them. I was unaware that we were having a debate. Really. I just thought we were two people talking, and then they had said, different things, like, they had said something about us having a debate. I forget what it was. Like, we seemed to, and they had said, we're just trying to figure out your type. Would you rather not do this? And I said, yes, I'd rather not do that. Let's just talk about the cognitive functions, because I'm not relating to these things you're telling me. And that was before I knew that they were just Googling all their information anyways, so it didn't really matter. And, like, because they had sent me a source as to why I used introverted sensing. And so I don't know, I, like, didn't get that. And then, we were talking, and um, they had, yeah, so I had said to them, you know, okay, so what about all the types that don't use introverted sensing? Are you saying that they can't remember stuff? Like, that if you need introverted sensing to know the cognitive functions, and they told me to Google straw man fallacy, which I actually hadn't heard of that. So I Googled it. It was like, it was just completely offensive. I feel like that's what they were doing. Like, we're, like, it was basically an emotional attack, which I could see somebody without extrovert feeling, thinking, which is happening when it wasn't, which I'm gonna explain. Just, I guess, the cognitive functions in the next one, but why do we have to have a logical debate, like completely logical debate, when first of all I don't even want to have a debate on my type, and how is it a straw man fallacy? It's me. Like, we're talking about, like, if it's a personal attack, which was what I got, which this meant, then they're the ones personally attacking me. They're telling me I don't know myself. And yet I asked a question and it was a personal attack on them. When they're a personal attack on them, this person who has never met me telling them that I know myself better than they do, that's a personal attack. I don't see, like, this at all. So then we're talking about the difference between NI and NE, and they say something about NE equals perceiving first, and no, NE equals judging first, then perceiving. NI equals did I say this right? It's wrong. So I'm having trouble remembering what it is. No, yeah, NI equals perceiving first, then judging. NE equals judging first, then perceiving. And then I said, how does this make sense? And they said, oh no, I'm sorry, I meant P equals judging first, then perceiving. J equals perceiving first, then judging. And I was like, yeah, this still doesn't make any sense. And they had said, no, it does. And then they sent me this link to an INTJ versus INTP video, which explained the differences between them and their cognitive functions. So, you know about the cognitive functions, you know that, for MBTI, the introverted types, well, the P and the J in MBTI is whether you, whether, your perceiving function is extroverted or whether your judging function is extroverted. So the introverts have it in reverse. So I had told this person why it didn't apply to all situations, in that the purpose of this video was to compare INTJs and INTPs, not Ps versus Js. And then they had argued with me some more as to why they were right, as to why that it made sense for the INTJs, because INTJs have a perceiving function first, then a judging function, and INTPs have a judging and then a perceiving function. And then I explained it again, and they're like, yeah, I actually don't really understand that part of it. I'm like, that was the part we were arguing about. The other part that they happened to just find was irrelevant. So I said, well, you know, you shouldn't do this.